I didn't spend $1 in marketing the year that I hit a $500,000 year.
The beauty of starting your own paralegal business isn't just about the money. It's the personal freedom that I get to be at home, being my true authentic self all day long is such a blessing.
It sounds like this is a really good fit. We do have a couple of corporate paralegals that I'd like you to take a look at.
The beauty in working remotely is that you don't always have to get ready fully. Hair, makeup, that thing. But today is not one of those days. Today is the day I do need to look presentable-ish for a couple of Zoom meetings. On my calendar includes a discovery call with a potential attorney client. Our discovery calls are very in-depth. The ones that I conduct, I kind of make them into more of a consulting call, if you will, where we really run through in-depth strategy for that particular attorney and how they're staffing their law firm. That's something that when I started my business back in 2020, I really found was vital for the success of scaling into an agency, is that it's not just about me sitting on a sales call with an attorney trying to sell a paralegal service. I found that that discovery call was more so, number one, establishing my value in the relationship, as they could go and find their own freelance paralegal, which is what a lot of attorneys do. They search LinkedIn, they know somebody, they have a referral. But to use an agency like I built, I need to establish my value in the relationship, which I quickly found a passion for the staffing and the strategizing of staffing with lawyers in their law firm, especially as it relates to implementing 1099 freelance paralegals to get them through growth phases, keep their growth sustainable. The second reason that I feel utilizing this discovery call / sales call as a more of a consulting session with my attorneys is that it really establishes a lifelong relationship with the attorney if they choose to move forward. It gives a different tone in our relationship. Like, consider me an extension of your growth strategy team that you can bounce ideas off of. So yeah, a discovery call today, and then I'm also meeting with some of the partners at the investment firms. It's just a weekly standing call to run through the developments in the virtual paralegal division, how we're doing, how our network is growing, our client satisfaction levels, our marketing plans and strategies. So those are actually my favorite calls to have. It just, my entrepreneur brain just craves them 24/7. Also on my agenda today is to work on some growth KPI tools as we are building out our growth plans for the division, the paralegal division. That's something I learned probably about year 2 in my business, is to really start implementing tracking systems for growth and for forecasting future growth. I know, like, the term KPI, I think makes people in the legal space cringe because it kind of seems like a, what's the right word? I don't know, baity jargon to be like, hey, I'm using the word KPI, I know what I'm talking about. But as you're building a freelance paralegal business, it's really vital for you to start practicing the concept of tracking metrics and tracking growth and in every little area that you can possibly find. What would be vital for you right here, right now in your freelance business to start tracking is your marketing metrics. Because if we're not tracking and we're not understanding the data or the performance of our marketing, we're really spinning our wheels and throwing spaghetti at the wall. We're not paying attention to what works, what doesn't work. I have stuff in my eye and it's like blinding me. We're dealing with all sorts of random viruses and bugs, and I gotta love having kids in school. So back to it, the marketing part of it is truthfully the most vital, especially early on in your business, to track. If you've figured out who your ideal client is, you figured out sort of your brand, your niche, how you're matching and serving the ideal client, now you are taking it to the next level and saying, okay, let me track what works to reach that person. Because at the end of the day, why would we want to spend time on things that aren't working and not spending our time on things that are working? We always want to maximize on our time and what works the best. At the end of the day, what marketing is trial and error, but you're not trial and erroring and trialing and succeeding if you don't know what's failing and you don't know what's succeeding. Are you really paying attention to the commonalities of the posts that are working and the hooks and the way you're positioning your message? Start utilizing spreadsheets and some sort of routine to do the tracking. You will see better results a lot quicker. I actually took a 2-week hiatus from social media for no reason other than I was just starting to feel a creative block. I threw out some test posts just to track their performance and to see. It's a little bit of a pivot from what I normally do in terms of my themes of my videos. And so those performed really well, as I suspected they would. But here's something to note about that little content break I took on social media. And I made a big post about it because it's so very true. In the 2 weeks that I didn't post, I had 10 DMs in my inbox when I got back of paralegals interested in my freelance coaching services, my products, whatever I have to offer. I had 3 new attorney leads get into my calendar. That's the beauty in content marketing when you do it consistently, is over time it stacks on itself and it continues to work for you even when you need to take a little break or need to step out. You have already built that brand, that memorableness is, what the heck is that word? Familiarity with people through that brand, that during those 2-3 weeks, you're still kind of generating leads. I'm not saying you need to ghost everything for 6 months and think that it's still going to work for you, but you can take those little steps aside during the holidays, during creative blocks, during a shifting transition period, whatever reason, and it's still working for you. So yeah, there are way more avenues of marketing and generating business for your business. What time is it? Generating business for your business. Did I seriously just say that again? And generating yourself new business, pay per click, running ads, hiring somebody to call thousands of attorneys for you, direct outreach, referral marketing, organic marketing. All those things are definitely other streams of marketing that can expedite your business's growth. But content marketing is something your future self, and then your next future self, and then your next future self, and the next will thank you for 8,000 times over. That's why I push content marketing so heavily in my Freelance Paralegal Roadmap course. I didn't spend $1 in marketing the year that I hit my first 6-figure year. I didn't spend $1 in marketing the year that I hit a $500,000 year. It's actually really incredible when you think about it from that perspective. Because imagine if eventually you do come into money, or you have an investor or a partner, or you save up money and you do start investing in marketing, how you can 10x your growth. I think I am as ready can be when I am not a makeup artist, and it is what it is. And because this is a genuine day in the life video, I'm going to take you outside with me to gather some eggs before they freeze. It's freezing here in Wisconsin. Well, it's not freezing. Well, it's freezing, but it's not freezing just like 20 degrees, which isn't awful. But let's go grab some chicken eggs before heading down to the office. Okay, we got to go out, get some egg. Really? They, by the way, follow me everywhere I go, all day, every day. Bathroom, office, outside, kitchen. There's no boundaries, none.
But you are very cute. Lucy. Yeah, and you're all very cute.
Oh, something I didn't film this morning, because honestly, it would be, I don't even know how I would try, is getting my child off to school in the morning. So I get up at like 5:30 every morning. I have my spiritual practice. I do a little prep for the work day ahead, get him up at 6:45, get him off to school by like 7:30, and then, continue my second morning. It's snowing. It's beautiful here. Girls! This is just part of it. Being, the paralegal entrepreneur. Chickens. Goats. Bob. There's Bob. Oop. Focusing on Bob and Buddy. They have plenty of shelter, yet they choose to be outside. Let's grab some eggs. Oh, we got a chicken in there. Oh, don't mind me. She's kind of a sensitive one. Why aren't you laying in the box? You have a whole box. Okay, good. They're still warm. I hate when I get frozen eggs. Honestly, that's something I talk about a lot in my freelance paralegal coaching, is that the beauty of starting your own paralegal business isn't just about the money. I mean, the money is nice, don't get me wrong. It's the freedom. It's the personal freedom that I get to be at home, get my kids off to school, go check for eggs so they don't have to freeze, be with my animals, be in really like my true authentic self all day long is such a blessing. Okay, Rooster, is such a blessing that I could never have imagined for my life. And that was what really drove me into starting my own business, was because I could only make $15 at the local law firm 30 miles away, and then I wouldn't be home with my new baby. I wouldn't be home with my kids. So I tried my hand at this life, and I'm so glad I did, because you get eggs. You get eggs.
I've been working from home, and the majority of those years since 2018 have been with kids at home. And one thing I want to say is that it is very hard to separate yourself from home life and work life when you do work from home. But one thing I really like to implement, or a few things I like to implement, is having my house work for me while I am working downstairs. So things like an iRobot, a crock pot, like anything you can possibly think of that's doing something for you upstairs while you're downstairs. Start a little laundry in the morning, forget about it. Like those things that you just need to get out of your brain, because it's hard to check out of home life when you're working and at home. So you'll get the hang of it if you've never worked from home before. It does get easier, but just really like making it work for you. I would never change it for the world, even though it can be challenging and a little lonely sometimes. I love my office view. I love where I work from. And can we take a moment to just appreciate my tacky Christmas decorations? I think Christmas is supposed to be a little bit tacky. That's why I decorate the way I do. So enjoy it. Oh, also, I drink about a pot of coffee a day. I'm trying to change to not get into the 2 pots a day anymore and switching over to tea. As I go down to my office, I have to be very careful. I don't like get killed by my dogs stampeding down, trying to beat me to it. They love going down there. They love vegging out. And they each have their own little space in my office. Obviously, the dogs are a long-standing part of my brand because they're just always there. Always there. They're always there. My office is a little bit messy, but I will totally own the brand of the coziest paralegal at home. I like keeping things cozy. One thing I want to also mention is these red lights, as well as blue filtered glasses, has been such a game changer for my headaches. Looking at multiple screens all day long can be really exhausting. And lighting my little candle and having the dim lighting around my office.
So now we're at the part in our day where it's time to get ready for the discovery call. So I like to look at the attorney's website when I gather information prior to a discovery call. That just helps me prep in the flow of the conversation, and then I go onto their website. I take a look, how many attorneys are in their office? What practice areas do they might have beyond what they've listed in the discovery call form that they filled out? Do they have paralegals listed on their website? Are they practicing in multiple jurisdictions? Another thing I really gather from the website is a general sense of where this attorney is at in their growth. A website tells a lot about a firm's overall goals and what they're striving to be more than you might think. I know it's just a website, and it's like some attorneys don't put a lot of thought into their website. Some attorneys put a lot of work into their website. Some attorneys, you can tell they're trying really hard to get with the times of branding and building personal brand beyond just company brand for their law firm. So it does give me kind of a vibe, if you will, like where are they really? And no, that's not like the end all be all. It's not any sort of prerequisite to work with me. It just helps me feel like I know the attorney a little bit more and where they're at in their business growth before I even get on the discovery call. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm checking over this attorney's overall website appearance, where they're at. I might even go and stalk them a little bit on LinkedIn, as that's where they found me, and look at all of their other socials and sort of what their vibe is like. Obviously, for confidentiality reasons, I'm not going to video the discovery call, but something I might say just to let them know, I've done the homework, I've looked into your website, I am understanding XYZ. What something I might say to this attorney is, I took a look at your website It looks like you do a lot of corporate transactional work, but I also noted you do some in-house counsel, and I did note some litigation in there. So really excited to hear about what your goals are with adding supplemental support, what practice areas really needing the help, if it's several, and just starting it that way is really helping the attorney to understand, like, I am here to understand you, your practice, and what you're really needing going forward. Okay, I have to head on my Zoom. I have somebody waiting to come in. I will let you know how it goes once I'm finished. Well, what I would imagine is that right now your paralegal support is more administrative in function, which is super phenomenal. Absolutely, you want to be making sure you're offloading the things that your back office of your firm really needs to continue to operate and to work day to day. But what I'm finding is that you don't have that paralegal support, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that paralegal support, the ultimate goal would really be to allow you as a solo attorney to continue to open up your calendar, take in more clients, stop that ebb and flow cycle, that feast or famine cycle that you have when you have to you sort of push your calendar out, because even if you have a corporate paralegal that has the experience drafting those leases, has the experience drafting the contracts, getting that really solid first draft out for you, that's going to save you an immense amount of time, which in turn you're going to experience that immediate impact in your firm's bottom line, your ROI, because really at the end of the day, now you're able to go out and bill your $350, $400 per hour to your clients and have more volume of those hours going out as the attorney, while also that revenue stream from the paralegals billable work. It sounds like this is a really good fit. We do have a couple of corporate paralegals that, I'd like you to take a look at, what paralegals that have a lot of experience with those types of documents you need drafted, the lease agreements, the non-disclosures. I think that this will be a really great opportunity to just start you out with a 20-hour package, sort of feel this out, especially as we're entering into the new year. Perhaps look at increasing that package, monitoring their volume, seeing, how this is returning for you week over week in terms of productivity, and monitor it really, really closely as we continue to consider expanding your support capacity, right? So the next step's super simple. I'll get that service agreement sent over to you if you want to take a quick look at it. Once you've had a chance to review that, I will get you connected with our legal account supervisor, who will be starting to work on matching you. And our objective is to match you with the right paralegal the first time. So we don't want to inundate you with too many potentials. We want to get it right the first time and really send you our best candidate. That can take about a week to 2 weeks, sometimes less, sometimes more, just depending on how specific we are, your unique needs, and what we have in our network currently of freelance paralegals. I wouldn't imagine it would take more than about a week to 2 weeks to get you in that introductory call, and we can get you kicked off heading into the new year, getting ready to delegate. Your tech stacking systems are perfect for this setup. I think it'll work great for you to be able to delegate through the G Suite tools you're using. And like you said, you're not really leveraging my case for anything other than billing. So maybe handing that billing matter off to your internal administrative team for now. We might look at them entering their time down the road, but we'll absolutely walk you through those onboarding steps as we get kicked off and we have your introductory call and you feel comfortable going forward in our placement suggestion. That was quite literally the most awkward thing I've ever done in my life, because I just recorded myself having a not real conversation. Again, for confidentiality reasons, I didn't want to be recording an actual Zoom. I don't want you hearing the attorney's voice. I like to keep my attorneys very confidential and comfortable. But that's sort of a recap on what the discovery call sounded like and how I summarized it at the end and how we got there. So I hope that was helpful just to sort of hear, but for full disclosure, because I am not here to be fake. That was totally a reenactment. Okay, so now I'm moving on with my day. We are going to start working on my amazing spreadsheets. I will kind of hint it over here. Here's a spreadsheet I'm working on. I geek out so hard on spreadsheets. Again, going back to the conversation I had while I was putting my makeup on with my archaic beauty routine. That's so outdated and I don't know how to do makeup. But as a reminder, just coming back to that, think going forward as you build out your business, start from day one getting comfortable with building out spreadsheets and building out tracking systems and learning how to really look at your data and what's working, and let your data tell you sort of where this business is going. And as you get more and more geeked out on spreadsheets, like I have over the years, the more you'll start to forecast. You'll be able to forecast, if I make these posts, this is what I can expect to come in terms of, leads, in terms of website views. And once I get it on the website, then I track my website and can say, okay, if I get 200 views on my website from that one blog post, just for an example, I can expect 1 to 2% of those to schedule a discovery call. And then once I get them on my discovery call, I conduct the discovery call. That's when I know, I'll convert maybe 50% of them. So the more you understand that data, I hope that sort of like helps you understand bigger picture. The more you understand that data, the more you're able to say, okay, I expect this particular post to generate me this amount of business. And I know it's easier said than done. It doesn't work that way every single time. Sometimes posts flop. We can't always, the algorithm of LinkedIn, TikTok is so dang confusing sometimes, because like my bloodhound, the stupidest video I'll just post for fun on my TikTok will blow up and get 100,000 views. And then the really helpful content sometimes I post that typically does okay for my niche target audience flops, and I get like 10 views for some reason. So it's not always a slam dunk, but it's a general guideline that helps you continue to drive growth in your business with things that you're showing you works. Starting now, just as your solo freelance paralegal business, start getting comfortable with tracking, geek out on it. You will thank yourself later.
So obviously there's just the monotony of every workday that goes with it, emails, Slack messages, keeping up on social media, and, the attorneys that reach out to me there, and paralegals. My biggest thing is, though, I have ADHD, so I get shiny object syndrome really, really easily. And it's super important for me to try to reconnect myself to my schedule, which is why I do implement a little bit of block scheduling with some, ability to be flexible throughout my days. And that's just kind of like what I have to do. I think there's a big correlation between entrepreneurs and ADHD, though.
All right, so now it's time for me to get ready to have my check-in meeting with one of the board members over at Virtual, where I'm going to run through just how things are going over at the paralegal division that I'm leading, strategizing a little bit more on the features we're going to be placing into the network of paralegals that we have over at Virtual. As a side comment, if you're interested to join our Virtual contractor network of paralegals, I do have the link right on my freelanceparalegal.com website. You hit to the jobs tab, and that will take you right to the opening job applications we have. Once you come and join our network and you've gone through the interview process, the conversations with us about if it's a mutual good fit for both you and our company, we put you into the network and you get access to different types of professional development resources as a thank you for being in our network, as well as we'll be the first to know about a client opportunity that comes up that matches your unique skill sets, your availability, your practice area, all those things. So yeah, if you're interested in opportunities of working with Virtual, please head over to freelanceparalegals.com, head over to the job tab, and that will get you over to the open job boards we currently have. And also something I'm going to be running through in this meeting is operational workflows, talking about, where we're at in our growth, our metrics, what our goals are. So again, going back, I feel like this whole day in the life theme is about tracking your metrics. But that's something we'll talk about because it's very useful to have. And as I kind of wrap up the day in the life, because there's really not much more to everything I said I'm working on today, and you don't need to watch me just sit here and type my fingers away. I also have a meeting with our chief operating officer over at Virtual to go through some plans and initiatives for the paralegal division. She's absolutely incredible. Like, she just lights me up. She inspires me. The way her brain works, the way she takes something so complicated and makes it so simple. It's inspiring. So I really do look forward to my meetings with her as well, which will be coming up. But kind of this is the life of the office day. I'm going to try to get all my work finished up so when they get back from school, we can kind of focus on having a little mini celebration today for her birthday. Her big party comes on Friday. Not really sure when this video drops, but we're having her big family party by the weekend. But like to do something with the kids on their actual birthday if it doesn't fall on the weekend. And I'll also be going outside, checking for more eggs, probably get some food thawing out upstairs, the joys of working from home where you can kind of balance all that. And that's where I always like to draw in the reality of owning your own business and starting your own business and dictating how you're going to make money for the years to come in your career is that it's not anymore about work-life balance as it is about work-life harmony. I don't need to feel like, oh, I have to balance work with vacation. I have to balance work with sick time or with kid schedules. It's more so making it like this harmonious two part of my day of saying, what I need to do for my family doesn't take away from what I need to do at work, and what I do at work doesn't take away from my family. So if you at any point are interested in starting the paralegal entrepreneur journey, maybe it is through freelancing, I highly encourage you to grab my free starter course that will give you insight into what it's going to take to build your own business and to make it a success. I started my own business. I scaled it to $100,000 within the first year, and then a $500,000 year by year 3. We went from almost losing our home to building our dream home within 2 years of starting my business. So it's been a thing in my life that I couldn't have imagined when I took that leap of, it wasn't even faith. It was like a leap of desperation and started it. And I love it. I'm so driven to empower other paralegals to do the same thing if that's what's calling them. So go grab that free starter course. It's available to you at freelanceparalegals.com. Links are all below for your easy access. And thanks so much for coming along with me on this little mini day in the life. I've had fun. It's definitely something different I've never done before, a little bit of cringe feeling about it. But I think I'm going to do more of these because it's more interactive coaching. I loved how I was able to coach that discovery call conversation. So very much looking forward to doing more variety of videos like this. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Send me a comment on what your favorite part of this video was or any future topics that you'd like me to cover, burning questions you have. Have a great day ahead of you.